Have you ever looked at your spouse and pondered, why does everything they do irritate me now? Do you no longer experience the profound affection you once felt? If these sentiments resonate with you, understand that you are not isolated in this experience. A multitude of women in enduring partnerships encounter this transformation, but here's a crucial insight. It's not merely a figment of your imagination, nor does it signify the impending failure of your union. There are tangible and practical explanations underpinning this alteration. In the following discourse, we will explore 6 pivotal reasons why women often begin to feel detached from their spouses, and more importantly, how to rectify these issues before it's too late. The 4th point discussed may profoundly alter your perception of your relationship, so ensure you remain attentive until the conclusion. Prior to delving into these aspects, please indicate your acknowledgement if you have ever felt exasperated within your marriage, and share below one action your spouse takes that particularly vexes you. Now let us commence. The initial factor: evolving expectations. In the nascent stages of a matrimonial bond, affection possesses the capacity to render minor habits seemingly inconsequential. A woman might find her partner's eccentricities endearing, even delightful. She may overlook his occasional forgetfulness, his propensity for leaving garments strewn across the floor, or his inclination to recount the same anecdotes repeatedly. However, as the years unfold, those very behaviors that once seemed charming can metamorphose into sources of exasperation. The light-hearted banter that once elicited laughter now feels dismissive. His easygoing demeanor, previously perceived as self-assurance, now appears to be a deficiency in responsibility. Initially, she might disregard these sentiments, deeming them insignificant, yet as daily existence becomes more demanding, with professional obligations, parental duties, financial pressures, and the care of aging relatives, her forbearance begins to wane. She starts to question, why has he not changed? Why does he persist in these actions when he is aware they frustrate me? What was once a minor annoyance progressively feels like an indication of deeper incompatibility. Over time, these unresolved grievances can culminate in resentment, fostering emotional distance within the partnership. In the early period of their marriage, Olivia adored how vivacious and unburdened her husband, Daniel, was. He invariably had a knack for eliciting her laughter, even during stressful periods. His jests and cheerful disposition made life feel enjoyable and spontaneous. Nevertheless, as the years elapsed, Olivia's viewpoint began to shift. She gradually assumed greater responsibilities, managing the domestic sphere, raising their offspring, and planning for the future. Concurrently, Daniel remained unaltered, perpetually cracking jokes, evading earnest discussions, and dismissing problems with humor. Initially, she overlooked it, rationalizing, "That's simply who he is." Yet, with time, frustration mounted. When she desired to deliberate on financial matters, he would respond with a joke. When she was utterly exhausted from a protracted day, he would engage in jesting instead of offering assistance. One evening, following a particularly taxing day, she finally burst out, "Can you ever be serious? Everything is a jest to you." The identical characteristic that once captivated her now made her feel disregarded, unsupported, and isolated in her struggles. What had changed? Not Daniel, but Olivia's expectations, which had been shaped by years of shared experiences and evolving priorities. An unexpected revelation. Did you know? Research indicates that the manner in which a couple manages expectations during the initial decade of marriage frequently foretells their contentment after 3 decades together. Minor frustrations left unaddressed can escalate into profound resentment over an extended period. Early in a romantic involvement, Affection facilitates the overlooking of imperfections. However, as life introduces additional obligations, children, financial concerns, health issues, what once seemed charming can begin to feel exasperating. If these transitions are not confronted, emotional separation commences to widen. How to remedy this? The resolution lies not in expecting your partner to undergo a complete metamorphosis. It is instead about cultivating the ability to articulate evolving expectations. Rather than suppressing frustration, engage in open and sincere dialogues. Instead of declaring, "You never take matters seriously," try articulating, "I cherish your humor, but at times I need you to genuinely listen when I discuss important subjects." Instead of presuming they will instinctively comprehend your needs, articulate them explicitly. "It would mean a great deal to me if you could assist with preparing the evening meal on busy nights." Robust marriages are not characterized by the absence of conflict. They are defined by the capacity to navigate change collaboratively. Reason number 2: an imbalance in responsibilities. In numerous marital unions, women naturally undertake a greater share of responsibilities over time, encompassing household management, childcare, and even bearing the emotional burden of the relationship. While this dynamic might initially feel organic, it can gradually foster resentment if it becomes disproportionate. A wife frequently becomes the primary caregiver, recalling significant dates, orchestrating family schedules, and ensuring the smooth operation of daily life. Concurrently, her husband might contribute in his own manner, yet not fully comprehend the extent of her mental and emotional workload. As the years progress, this disparity can become utterly draining. The previously loving acts of maintaining domestic order begin to feel obligatory rather than appreciated. And when a woman feels unrecognized and undervalued, her affections for her husband commence to shift, not out of anger, but from sheer exhaustion. Without deliberate effort from both partners, this dynamic can culminate in emotional detachment, exasperation, and even emotional depletion. What once felt like a shared journey can gradually transform into a solitary burden. A real-life illustration. Eleanor, age 68, articulates her vexation. "I manage all aspects of the household, cooking, cleaning, organizing expenditures, while my husband simply occupies the sofa watching television. He doesn't even grasp the sheer volume of tasks I undertake. It's as if he presumes these responsibilities magically resolve themselves. I used to perform everything out of affection, but now it merely feels draining." Over time, Eleanor's sentiments evolved. What once felt like expressions of care now felt like unacknowledged labor. Her husband's unawareness made her feel unseen, as though her efforts were inconsequential. This narrative is frequently encountered by many women in long-term marriages. The emotional strain extends beyond mere household tasks. It encompasses feeling valued, recognized, and supported. Did you know? Studies reveal that women who feel emotionally unsupported in their marriage are 3 times more likely to report unhappiness by the age of 60. This is not solely about domestic chores. It is about feeling acknowledged and esteemed. When a woman's contributions remain unobserved, resentment quietly accumulates. Over time, this emotional chasm can expand to such an extent that even affection struggles to bridge it. However, there is encouraging news. Acknowledgement is the initial step. Once couples discern this imbalance, they can commence implementing minor yet impactful adjustments to reestablish connection and reciprocal support. How to rectify this? The solution is not about equally dividing every task. It is about distributing responsibilities in a manner that suits both partners. Engage in an open dialogue. Instead of silently feeling overwhelmed, articulate your requirements. Many men simply do not comprehend the extent of their wives' burdens. Assign specific tasks, rather than imprecise requests like, "Help me more." Attempt, "Could you assume responsibility for the laundry every weekend?" Clear expectations avert misinterpretations. Acknowledge efforts. A simple expression of gratitude goes a long way. When both partners feel appreciated for their contributions, resentment dissipates and appreciation flourishes. Small modifications such as these can transform a marriage, enabling both partners to feel more supported, connected, and genuinely recognized. Reason number 3. The erosion of intimate connection. In the nascent years of marriage, intimacy often manifests spontaneously. Impromptu embraces, tender gestures, and profound discussions extending late into the night. Nevertheless, as time progresses, daily routines, stressors, and the aging process can cause couples to drift apart. Physical closeness diminishes due to health changes, exhaustion, or simply succumbing to routine. Emotional intimacy fades as couples prioritize professional obligations, childcare, or household duties over meaningful connection. Many women experience a sense of being unseen and unappreciated, leading to emotional distance. Without proactive endeavor, what was once a profound bond can begin to feel merely like coexisting within the same residence. A real-life example. Previously, he would embrace me every morning. Now he barely touches me anymore. Many women observe a gradual decline in affection. Fewer embraces, less hand-holding, and virtually no spontaneous expressions of love. What once felt warm and intimate now feels remote and routine. Over time, this absence of physical and emotional connection can lead to feelings of solitude, even within the confines of the marriage. Physical intimacy transcends mere romance. It embodies emotional connection. Without it, many women begin to feel invisible within their own marriage. Research indicates that non-physical displays of affection, such as gentle touches, hand-holding, or even a warm smile, play a pivotal role in sustaining emotional proximity. When these moments vanish, many women start to feel unrecognized, unappreciated, and emotionally disconnected from their husbands. The remedy: rekindle intimacy by altering the manner in which affection is conveyed, commencing with minor gestures and loving declarations. Instead of awaiting the natural resurgence of passion, make a deliberate effort to reconnect. A tender touch on the arm, a lingering embrace, or even a simple, "I appreciate you," can reignite warmth. Many long-term couples discover that small, consistent acts of affection aid in restoring emotional closeness over time. Reason number 4. Unresolved disagreements. When disagreements remain unaddressed, they do not simply vanish. They accumulate over time, erecting an emotional barrier between spouses. Initially, it might be trivial disputes concerning daily routines, financial matters, or parenting approaches. However, as the years unfold, these unspoken frustrations transform into persistent resentment, rendering the relationship colder and more distant. Many women reach a certain age and realize that the solitude within their marriage is not attributable to a lack of affection. It stems from emotional wounds that were never healed. Beatrice, age 72, once experienced a marriage replete with profound conversations and shared mirth. Yet, over the years, every contention concluded identically. Her feelings were dismissed, and the conflict was never genuinely resolved. Initially, she persisted in attempting to discuss matters thoroughly, but as time passed, she recognized that irrespective of what she articulated, nothing ever altered. So one day she simply ceased trying. "We no longer argue," she admits, "but that is not a positive development. It is because I have conceded. I do not wish to expend my energy on conversations that lead nowhere." What commenced as a means of preserving tranquility gradually devolved into a silent, emotional schism, one that feels even more solitary than being utterly alone. Research indicates that conflict itself does not inflict damage upon a marriage. Rather, it is the avoidance of conflict that does. A seminal study revealed that couples who never contend are, in fact, more prone to dissolution than those who engage in regular disagreements. Why? Because silence frequently signals emotional disengagement. When a couple ceases to dispute, it is not invariably a sign of peace. It can signify that one or both partners have emotionally withdrawn. Unresolved frustrations transmute into resentment, distance, and eventually indifference. And in a marriage, indifference is often more perilous than animosity. Avoiding conflict does not make problems disappear. It merely buries them deeper. Many couples erroneously believe that maintaining silence preserves harmony, but in actuality, it generates emotional distance. So, how does one engage in constructive disagreement? Select the opportune moment. Do not endeavor to resolve conflicts when you are exhausted, stressed, or pressed for time. Choose a moment when both individuals are composed. Employ I statements. Instead of declaring, "You never pay attention to me," try, "I feel unheard when we do not discuss matters." This redirects the conversation from accusation to comprehension. Remain focused on the issue. Do not permit one argument to expand into a catalog of past errors. Concentrate on a single matter at a time. Take interludes if necessary. If emotions are running excessively high, disengage for a period, and resume the discussion when both are calmer. Listen to comprehend, not merely to formulate a reply. Instead of mentally rehearsing your next response while your partner is speaking, genuinely attend to their words and emotions. A successful marriage is not characterized by the absence of disagreements. It is defined by the ability to navigate through differences in a manner that fortifies your bond rather than fragmenting it. Healthy discourse can transform conflicts into prospects for advancement, connection, and deeper understanding. Reason number 5. Personal development and autonomy. As women age, they frequently undergo a phase of self-discovery. The elements they once tolerated within their marriage no longer appear acceptable. They commence prioritizing their own contentment, independence, and emotional well-being. In preceding generations, many women felt compelled to remain in dissatisfying marriages due to societal pressures, financial reliance, or the conviction that they had to subordinate their own needs for the sake of their family. However, contemporary circumstances differ. Women are experiencing longer and healthier lives. They pose the question to themselves, do I desire to spend the ensuing 2 or 3 decades feeling unfulfilled? Many have attained financial independence, with retirement savings, professional earnings, or even Social Security benefits granting them greater liberty. They apprehend that they merit more. Years of prioritizing others can lead a woman to ponder, what about me? This shift in perspective frequently culminates in a turning point within the marriage. A woman who once resigned herself to a one-sided relationship may now demand more or conclude that she is better off independently. So what transpires next? Some couples mature together, adapting to this new phase of existence. Others, however, discover themselves diverging. Marian, a 67-year-old woman, recounted her experience. Years ago, I required my husband. I relied on him financially and for significant family decisions. But now I simply desire my freedom. I have dedicated my entire life to caring for others. And now it is time to attend to myself. After retiring and observing her children establish their own lives, Marian realized that her marriage no longer provided fulfillment. What she once endured, his indifference, the absence of profound conversations, now felt oppressive. I do not harbor animosity towards my husband. she admits. But I no longer wish to remain in a relationship where I feel isolated. With newfound financial stability and an open outlook, Marion commenced concentrating on herself. She enrolled in a painting class, journeyed with acquaintances, and even contemplated independent living. I do not require someone to complete me. I am already whole. A growing number of women over 60 are opting to reside separately from their husbands than ever before. This is not merely a passing trend. It signifies a substantial reordering of priorities. Studies indicate that as women gain financial autonomy and self-assurance, they no longer feel compelled to remain in unfulfilling marriages. Unlike previous generations, where divorce carried significant social disapproval, contemporary older women are redefining happiness on their own terms. Many are choosing living apart together, LAT relationships, maintaining companionship without relinquishing personal space. It serves as a potent reminder that contentment is not about persisting in a relationship out of habit. It is about selecting a life that genuinely brings you joy. The remedy: re-establish the camaraderie within your marriage instead of solely concentrating on obligations. A robust marriage transcends mere responsibilities. It is fundamentally about connection. Over time, many couples succumb to the routine of simply coexisting, handling domestic duties, financial matters, and familial concerns without truly relishing each other's company. To rekindle the bond, focus on small, meaningful interactions. Share a laugh, embark on novel activities together, or simply inquire about each other's day with genuine interest. Prioritizing enjoyment and companionship over obligation aids in restoring warmth and affection. Remember, the most contented long-term couples do not merely love each other, they genuinely like each other. Reason number 6: alterations in physical presentation and allure. Both spouses undergo transformations over time, but women frequently experience the diminishment of self-assurance more profoundly. Aging brings unavoidable physiological changes: facial lines, fluctuations in body mass, shifting body contours. However, while men may accept these transformations with ease, women often feel compelled to retain their youthfulness. Society imposes elevated expectations concerning women's appearance, leading many to feel less appealing or unseen within their own marriages. When a husband ceases to offer commendations or no longer exhibits the same degree of affection, it can intensify a woman's insecurities. She may question whether he still finds her desirable, or if the vibrancy has completely dissipated. This unspoken doubt can engender emotional distance, rendering intimacy and connection even more arduous to sustain. Yet, the true challenge is not solely physical. It pertains to self-perception and how partners support one another throughout the aging process. I once felt beautiful in my husband's gaze, states Abigail, aged 67. He used to commend my hair, my attire, even the manner in which I smiled. But somewhere along the way, the compliments ceased. Now, I wonder if he even acknowledges my presence at all. Abigail's experience is not uncommon. Many women in enduring marriages perceive a shift in the way their husbands express admiration. While men may presume their affection is understood without verbalization, women frequently yearn for reassurance, particularly as they age. For Abigail, this alteration led to feelings of insecurity. She began avoiding reflective surfaces, discontinued wearing her preferred garments, and sensed a growing chasm between herself and her husband. It was not merely about appearance. It was about feeling recognized and valued within her marriage. Men tend to perceive their wives as less attractive over time, but women also tend to perceive themselves as less attractive. This implies that the issue is not solely how a husband views his wife. It is also about how a woman perceives herself. When a woman feels less appealing, she may withdraw emotionally and physically, creating even greater distance in the marriage. The genuine predicament? Many men do not even realize this phenomenon is occurring. They assume their wives are simply no longer interested, while women assume their husbands no longer find them desirable. The outcome? A silent severance that neither partner fully comprehends, but both profoundly experience. The remedy? Cultivate self-assurance and embrace your innate beauty. Instead of fretting about resembling your younger self, redirect your focus to feeling comfortable in your own skin. Confidence is the most captivating attribute at any age, and it commences with self-care. Whether that entails dressing in a manner that makes you feel lovely, maintaining an active lifestyle, or simply carrying yourself with dignity, minor actions yield significant outcomes. A touch of extra effort in personal presentation, posture, or even smiling more frequently can transform the way both you and your husband perceive you. And do not await compliments. Remind yourself daily that you are beautiful, resilient, and deserving of affection. When you feel appealing, that energy naturally alters the way others, including your husband, perceive you as well. Matrimony is an odyssey, and like any journey, it necessitates adaptation, communication, and endeavor to remain on course. If you have been experiencing detachment from your husband, know that you are not alone. And more importantly, you possess the capacity to effect change. Minor adjustments lead to significant transformations. Whether it involves articulating your requirements, establishing new expectations, or simply re-engaging as companions, every step is consequential. Affection need not dissipate. It merely needs to evolve. Now it is your turn. Which of these factors resonated most deeply with you? Share your reflections in the comments section. Your insights might offer assistance to someone else, and if you found this discussion illuminating, please show your support and subscribe for further compelling dialogues concerning relationships, contentment, and life beyond 60. Let us sustain this ongoing dialogue.